Hey Sarah, let's take a look at your week 3 assignment 2 drawing. This is a very good series of drawings in both cases. Textural work being done is, I think, excellent. The color is very good, it's very convincing, and the perspective is working out really well. So I think in general it kind of hits all the things that it needs to. It's very good marker work. I really like this texture that's going on in the background, which is kind of innocuous enough that it doesn't take away from the object itself, but still has more than enough kind of visual interest to kind of keep your eye moving and really just keeping this entire thing interesting. And it just adds another textural element to the texture of the object, and it's a really nice presentational touch. The object itself really nicely shaded. You're thinking about the lighting situation. You have a dark side and a light side on the top. You've got some nice detail, like each one of the cabinets being clearly delineated with its own shadow and a little bit of highlight, and you're doing an exceptional job with the texture, which comes across as, I think, very convincing, although I'll say it feels more convincing in the 2-point than it does with the cross-hatching that's occurring on the 1-point. Little odd things like it feels like it's much shorter in the 2-point than it is on the 1-point. I think you could actually cut kind of this back half of the 1-point off and you would be safe. And presentationally, it's not up to the spec size. You're at 500 by 300 and you should be at the very least 800 by 600, so we're missing a good 300 pixels on each dimension, which is making this feel much smaller than I think it should, and doesn't give us the ability to zoom in on the texture quite as much as I would like personally, and I'm sure your peers would like to see also, because it's such a nicely done assignment. But overall, I think it's doing a wonderful job, and I think as you move into the next assignment, you'll definitely want to concern yourself more with, I think, cast shadows and how that interacts with the environment. How here, I think we're seeing multiple textures working together effectively, so I don't think that's a big issue as you move into the next assignment, where you're going to have a ground plane that'll have a texture and maybe some elements on the wall plane. But it's a really nice job. I think you've done a great job of just getting a lot of detail but not overworking anything, and working just an excellent job with the marker, the colored pencil, to create some great texture and some great coverage.